Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of Opens and Women's Nationals 2025 in East London. We are at Hudson Park High School to start game. Leading them to that discussion now happening on the field. The Queen's line is ready. UCT having a look at the Queen's line. Players to play the point, standing. Players kneeling will be leaving the field shortly. I believe that is Eliza Stewart to pull. The Queen signal readiness. The pull is good. Courtney Micklejohn to Jade Fennell. Lara Betts receives the next pass. Lara Betts looking for a dump. A strong mark on Courtney Micklejohn, preventing her from getting the disc. An attempted pass to Nicola Martin. Unfortunately turned over for the Queens. The Bengals set up a vertical stack. A cut from the back of the stack. Unsuccessful. A dump to the second handler. Reset to Eliza Stewart. Catherine Stead to Eliza Stewart. And another conversion. I believe that was Emma Belcher on the receiving end of that throw. Brings the score to 2-0 to the Bengals. Very assertive performance from these ladies so far. The Queens will look to make a response. Ladies and gents, if you are in East London and you're watching this stream, why not just join us here in person? There is no entry fee. We would love to have you come watch. Tons and tons and tons of awesome games happening all at the same time. You are spoiled for choice. Teams from all over the country. Pop by. Christina Lovrich with the pull. Megan Barnard on the disc. Elaine passed to her now. Linka van Rensburg. Attempted to get the disc back to Megan Barnard. Unfortunately turned over. The UCT vertical stack set up again. A cut from the back of the stack. A look into the end zone. A floating forehand. Dragged down. I'm not sure who was on the receiving end of that. I believe that was Christina Lovrich. if I saw the number 4 shirt correctly. Some UCT players returning to the sideline as they signal readiness for the pull. Queens are ready. Elaine Slurton will pick up this disc. She looks at Megan Barnard, who's made an early, long attempt. The disc is received just in front of the end zone. Megan celebrates. And a conversion back to Elaine Slurton to put the Queens on the board with their first point of this match. An assertive decision made early by Megan Barnard to make a deep cut. Managed to receive from Elaine Slurton and then quickly reset to Elaine. Very straightforward pass into the end zone. Some of the Queens leave the field as Elaine Slurton signals readiness for the pull. That disc will be picked up by... I'm not sure who that was picked up by. And a quick conversion by UCT. They only needed one pass. The score is now 4-1 in favor of the UCT Bengals. UCT signals readiness. The Queens respond. Jade Fennell will pick up this disc. Courtney Micklejohn is quick to gain some yardage. She pivots and returns the disc to Jade, who attempts to dump to Linka van Rensburg. Unfortunately, the disc does not land. UCT now making an assertive attack on the Queen's end zone and a conversion. I believe Kelly Paxton was on the end of that point. And the score is 5-1 to UCT. The Queens need to find a way to break the UCT momentum. Christina Lovrich was on the pull for UCT. Courtney Micklejohn kicks to Lara Betts. Receives a dump again. The disc is blocked by Lauren Immelman, who quickly repositions in the end zone and looks to be the next receiver for this pass. Dragged down in the end zone. Excellent play from her. The score is 6-1 UCT. The Queens really need to dig deep. To slow what seems like an inevitable roll by UCT, the Bengals. Both lines set in their end zones. The pull settles just north of the brick mark. Megan Barnard making another deep attempt on the receiving end from Elaine Slurton. Excellent yardage with that forehand. Looking to convert now. Elaine on the end. That disc not caught in the end zone. UCT to regain possession. The vertical stack set up again on the end zone side of the UCT brick mark. An assertive forehand to Sonali Naidu. Fortunately, the next pass did not find its mark. Malachite Queens will look to capitalize on this possession right in front of the end zone. A deep look from Elaine Slurton, which ends in a conversion for the Malachite Queens. Gives them their second point. Elaine Slurton to pull. Liza Stewart handling. Kicks to Lauren Ilmerman. Back to Eliza Stewart. Back to Lauren Immelman. Excellent play between these two ladies. Who looks for Eliza Stewart again, who brings it down. In the Malachite Queens end zone to add another point to the tally for the UCT Bengals. Which brings the score to 7-2. The Bengals will look for half-time now. The Malachite Queens need to do something to stop that, keep this half alive. Bengals form a circle between their brick mark and end zone, just tossing the disc and making use of the timeout to chat about their game plan, if they need to. Very dominant performance from them so far in the first half. The pull from UCT after the timeout, picked up by Elaine Sluton. Flick to Nicola Martin. Pivots, looking for Elaine again. Elaine kicks to Marisa Potgieter. Courtney Micklejohn calls for the disc. The stall count rises. Elaine provides some relief for Marisa. Elaine splits the defense to Courtney Micklejohn, who kicks to Lara Betts. Marisa Potgieter on the receiving end of the next disc. Elaine receives the disc out wide, who kicks to Courtney Micklejohn, who seems to have taken an injury, a very, very awkward fall. Oh no. Sorry, Oaks, that's my girlfriend.
Courtney Micklejohn just being escorted off the field. And their commentator Nick, just to check in on his significant other, was down in a flash as soon as he sensed some trouble. So good to see he cares. Good to see he cares. But yeah, we hope the best for Courtney Micklejohn. Hopefully it's not too hectic. Not too... If it doesn't take her out the game so much. We're just going to move over to one of the games happening. Oh wow, quite an interesting matchup here between Fierce and Hot Sauce. Maybe the matchup of the pool. And Hot Sauce have just seemed to score, but Bengals and Malachite Queens will be back in action. Eliza Stewart ready to receive the pull. Is that Eliza? Was that Tori? That is Tori. Wicked Betty. BT. Deciding against a brick. That has to be Eliza Stewart. Throw down the line to Lauren Immelman and waste no time. Just powering it through to the end zone for a goal. Bengals on the board once again. A strong looking UCT Bengals team here at... Is it halftime? Yeah, here at halftime. Quite the display indeed from the UCT Bengals. Lots of excitement. And yeah, quite a great team they've compiled here. Eliza Stewart, I believe, is captaining. Some Wild Dogs in the mix. Also representing the country, and they'll be in Spain for the World Under-24 Ultimate Championship soon. And don't forget to sign up for the Wild Dogs fantasy game, just to help the Wild Dogs raise funds to get to Spain. There's going to be a showcase game tonight at Beacon Bay Country Club, my mistake. And yeah, if you join the game, you'll support the doggos. And how you play is you get yourself 4 gents, 4 women, and for each of their players they'll get some points, and the highest points win. You can win yourself supporters kits, some Wild Dogs disc, lacquer merch, and it's for a good cause. Nick is back. Hopefully it wasn't too serious.
Thanks, Sefo. No, hopefully nothing too serious. I got some eyes on the ground, so the injury, it seems, Courtney's knee bent backwards. She is standing, she is walking, but I personally I'm not casting any spells, not bringing any bad injury juju. Good vibes. We hope it's very minor. I personally have torn my ACL and could walk and run afterwards. It took me 6 weeks to realize that I had a torn ACL, which has actually turned out to be, for me, a life-altering injury. We pray this is not the case for Courts, but just that she err on the side of caution before entering the field again. But we do hope to see her later on. In the interim, we have panned the game camera to field 5. Fierce and Hot Sauce are on field 5, and field 4 is populated by the Carlfoot chaps and the hosting team, Malachite Kings. We'll now do a bit of commentary on the Fierce and Hot Sauce game. Unfortunately, I do not have a name list for either team. I'll do some general commentary for you guys. Yeah, we're going to go on vibes, as head coach Tsepo says. Looks like Hot Sauce have just converted against Fierce. Fortunately, I can't bring you a score update at this time. The Fierce Ladies returning to their line. The Fierce Ladies signal readiness for the pull. Unfortunately, the hot sauce line is obscured by the tree, but we'll get to see them now as they enter your view. Fierce move the disc to their central handler. Unfortunately, cannot make the dump pass effectively. Hot sauce will look to attack the end zone now. Vertical stack can be seen set up just in front of the end zone. A cut from the front of the stack, effectively defended by Fierce. Fierce then pick up the disc and immediately get it turned over again by some excellent hot sauce defense. The vertical stack now set up in the end zone. Hot sauce walking down on the end zone line now, looking to convert, and I believe they have, with what looks like, oh, they have not. There was celebration, but it seems that the disc was dropped in an attempt to toe drag. We'll now pan back to the UCT versus Malachite Queens game. It seems the ladies are getting ready to start after their halftime break. UCT to pull. The score is 8-2 at halftime. The pull is good. I believe that was Sarah on the pull, wearing the number 5 Loyiso Majibi shirt. As I say that, I believe that was Christina Lovrich to convert in the end zone, wearing the number 4 jersey for UCT to bring the score to 9-2 in favor of the Bengals. Christina Lovrich to pull. Blades and rolls. A very effective roll all the way from the center of the field to the Queen's brick mark. Unfortunately, the deep forehand look from Elaine to Megan, which we have seen before this match, does not land. Blades into the grass. And UCT will take the disc from the sideline. Marisa Potgieter sets up the mark. Tori Wiggett Beatty in a handling position. Turned over again. The Queen's now looking to work up the field. Linka van Rensburg with the disc. Exchanges to Elaine, whose foot was on the line when she caught the disc. And it is a turnover to UCT. Linke van Rensburg sets up the mark. And the flick to Lexi Ballington, I believe, unfortunately ends up in the grass. Elaine Slurton sets up the disc now in an attempt to convert with a backhand into the corner of the UCT end zone. Unfortunately lands safely out of bounds for UCT to pick up. A turnover again. Elaine Slurton with the disc now. Looks for Megan Barnard. The disc almost ended up in the hands of Mbalenhle Mpecheni, but put down just past the UCT end zone line. Christina Lovrich with the disc now. Kicks to Lexi Ballington, who dumps to Tori Wiggett-Beattie. The breeze affects the forehand, but it's still collected by the UCT Bengals, who continue to march up the field. A big block from Balentle, wearing the number 15 jersey. Elaine Slurton with the disc now. Very, very assertive handling performance from her today. UCT's number 27, Tori Wiggett-Beattie on the disc, with some excellent yardage. The disc falls short of Sonali Naidu, and Elaine Slurton will pick this disc up for the Queens. Elaine could not find Linke van Rensburg in that pass attempt, and the Bengals will now attack the Queen's end zone. Unfortunately, the backhand not holding its shape and ending up in the grass with a confident roll out the back of the end zone. Elaine Slurton will walk to pick this disc up. Sarah on the receiving end of the next pass. Kicks to Mbalenhle. An attempted forehand to Marisa Potgieter, brought down by the UCT defense. Lots of words of encouragement from the Bengals sideline. Tori Wiggett-Beattie to not sure who that was to. Sonali Naidu in the end zone, chasing after the disc, unable to bring it down, unfortunately. I've just seen some old friends. The Queens need to build some momentum to stay in this game. A timeout has been called. Just a bit of context about the Malachite Kings and Queens, the hosts of UltimateOWN2025 in East London, under the guidance of Josh Stain and Elaine Slurton. It's a debut team. This is its first ever tournament, its first ever fixtures for both the Kings and Queens, yesterday and today. Hopefully a permanent addition to the many Frisbee teams in South Africa. The southern region is often considered a developing part of South African Frisbee. Malachite Kings and Queens marries lots of teams that do not have the most consistent numbers in terms of player presence and squad depth, and tries to bring a number of teams together who otherwise cannot participate in tournaments such as OWN. And the Malachite Kings and Queens have been an excellent development opportunity for some of the high school Frisbee in the Eastern Cape. A lot of young high school ladies and gentlemen populate the Kings and Queens sides. Hopefully getting some youngsters to fall in love with the sport young, so you can see them at future tournaments. The Queens return to their line. UCT to pull. A very strong pull from the Bengals, caught by Elaine Slurton, who kicks to Marisa Potgieter. Megan Barnard is looking for a long option again, something we've seen her do a lot today. Nicola Martin picks up the disc, very close to the ground. A call has been made. I believe some questions are being asked about Nicola Martin's catch and whether contact with the ground occurred before she gained full control of the disc. The unofficial perspective hand signal from the sideline. The disc is returned to the last uncontested thrower, who attempts to kick to Jade Fennell, but the block is good from Brianna Zartman. A big block from Marisa Potgieter, who immediately assumes a position up the field. Elaine walks to the disc. Linka van Rensburg is the next receiver. Back to Elaine. Marisa Potgieter cuts under, but does not receive the disc, and the pass is blocked en route to Nicola Martin. Brianna Zartman with the disc now, looking for the end zone, brought down over the line by Lauren Immelman. Some excellent play from UCT. Which brings the score to 11-2 in favor of the Bengals. A dominant performance from the Bengals today against the Malachite Queens. I'm sure they'll be happy to take this confidence with them through for the rest of the day. UCT now attacking the Queen's apologies. UCT definitely attacking the Queen's end zone. The pass is good to Michaela Malyu, I believe. Just an update on the injury earlier. Courtney Micklejohn has unfortunately left the field to go to the emergency room with her knee strapped. We pray that the injury is not too serious. The pull is good from UCT. Megan Barnard picks up this disc, kicks to Elaine Sluton, who looks for a long forehand to Sarah, who catches the disc just shy of the UCT end zone. With an assertive pass to Avuyile Maklato, I believe, for the third point for the Queens. Elaine Sluton signals readiness for the pull. The Queens will look to build some momentum post scoring. Marlies Richter in a handling position. Sonali Naidu with the disc. Bobbled to Brianna Zartman, I believe. Unfortunately brought down. Megan Barnard with the disc now. Elaine Slurton to Sarah. An attempted pass to Lara Betts, unfortunately brought into the grass. Her head remains high. She resets to defend. The characteristic vert stack. The pass is good from Marlies. And the conversion in the end zone, I believe Christina Lovrich was on the end of that one, if I have identified her correctly by her shirt. Which brings the score to 13-3. The Queens looking to reduce the 10-point deficit. Some excitement from the Malachite Queens sideline. Still having tons of fun in this game. Linka van Rensburg will pick up this disc. She kicks to Sarah. Back to Linka, back to Sarah. Turned over by Eliza Stewart, who puts a floating forehand into the end zone. Snatched by Kelly Paxton to bring the score to 14-3 in favor of the Bengals. They'll look to close out this game in the next point. High fives exchanged in the end zone. We love to see it. They're loving this game. A big confidence booster for the rest of the day. A valiant effort from the Queens so far, though. A new team. A lot of these players have met each other for the first time yesterday. Still managing to link up and put on a performance together. Elaine has been hard at work preparing the ladies for the tournament, even if she's not been in the same physical vicinity as them. UCT to pull. Lauren Immelman with the disc. Linka van Rensburg will pick up. Kicks to Sarah. Marisa was the target for the next pass. A contact call into the catch. Uncontested. A strip call. Marisa with the disc now. Looking for Jade Fennell. Could not find the mark. Found the mark rather, but the mark couldn't hold on. UCT with the disc now. looking to convert. Tory Wiggett BT. Again. Inching ever closer to the Queen's end zone. And the pass is good to convert. And that concludes the first match of day 2 between UCT Bengals and the Malachite Queens, the host team. A valiant effort from the girls. Here the Queens unfortunately coming up short. The final score is 15-3 to the Bengals. A very, very, very dominant performance from them today. Excellent defense, excellent offense. Not much to critique in the way of the Bengals. A decisive victory. Awesome spirit and a valiant effort on behalf of the Queens, but unfortunately for them, coming up short by a margin of 12 points.